everybody, and welcome to Nick's Stream. Today we got books, toys, DVDs, VHS, games, and everything you could possibly hope for on This Week in Thrifting, Episode 4. Welcome back. As we said before, we got comic books, toys, video games, we got VHS, we got DVD. So let's jump in and check out what I picked up thrifting in This Week in Thrifting Episode 4. Starting off, I got a couple comic books. I only got 2 comic books this week for this video, and they were both Turok Dinosaur Hunter comic books. The first one is Turok Spring Break in the Lost Land, and the second one is Turok The Empty Souls. Now, there was a big stack of brand new comic books donated to the thrift store. I picked these up because I love the game Turok 2 on the N64. That's what introduced me to the Turok games, Turok franchise. But I do believe Turok did originate from the comic books, and then the games came later. Next up, I got a book, and it's a Pokemon book. Pokemon Deluxe Essential Handbook. Now, this book is kind of cool. It essentially gives you bios on 700 Pokemon. I assume all the original ones, and then some others added on. Pretty nice, full-color book.
You can meet Brock, Misty, Ash, and of course, Pikachu.
If you're a Pokemon fan, this might be for you. Next up, I got a big stack of books from my favorite book series, and that is Goosebumps.
You will beware. You're in for a scare.
Yes, I got some Goosebumps books, and we're starting off here. Goosebumps Slappy World, My Friend Slappy. Goosebumps Night in Werewolf Woods. Goosebumps Invasion of the Body Squeezers. Goosebumps Invasion of the Body Squeezers Part 2. Goosebumps The Ghost of Slappy. Goosebumps The Escape from Shutter Mansion. And Goosebumps I Am Slappy's Evil Twin. Now, these are all just mostly from the new series of Goosebumps books. I did finish the entire Goosebumps 62 book collection, and now I'm starting to collect the other collections of Goosebumps books. And there's actually one more cool one I want to show you. This one's kind of neat. I want to show you Goosebumps The Fright Light Edition. Now, this one is kind of cool because this one contains 3 Goosebumps books. It has Goosebumps Welcome to Camp Nightmare, The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam, and Ghost Camp. 3 Goosebumps books, which are pretty cool. And what makes this book so unique is it actually has a reading light at the top, old school reading light. You can tell because it doesn't have an LED bulb. It's got a traditional light bulb in this LED light. It takes 2 AA's, and you can shine it on your book to read the book in the dark, just like it was meant to be read. Next up, let's get into some toys. So starting off, I got some Power Rangers toys I got in a bag at the thrift store. Starting off, we have the Black Ranger from the 2016 Power Rangers movie. If you haven't seen the Power Rangers movie from 2016, it is excellent. It got bad reviews. People didn't like it. I thought it was awesome. It showed all the characters have their own individual problems, and they were actually teenagers with attitude, as opposed to the show where they said they were teenagers with attitude and they were just regular teenagers. And it was really well done, and I love the fact that they don't really get their Mighty Morphin powers till near the end of the movie. It really lets it build up to that point. I really enjoy that about the movie. It does tease a sequel at the end of the movie, which never got made, unfortunately, but I really enjoyed that movie, and so it's cool to pick up this Black Ranger figure for it.
Pee in that cup.
Next up in that bag was a Power Rangers Lightning collection, Beast Morphers Red. Beast Morphers, if you haven't seen, is a really good Power Ranger season. It was the last season before the previous season, which was Dino Fury. This is also the first season of Power Rangers, which never got a DVD release, unfortunately, but this was a really, really good season. Jason, the original Red Ranger, played by Austin St. John, does have a cameo in one of the episodes, so that was pretty cool to see him come back to the series for that episode. As you know, Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger, is my favorite Power Ranger. And the next one up, which I was probably the most happy to find in this bag, because this is actually an original 1993 Power Ranger toy. I had the Red Ranger from this set, and that is the Blue Ranger Billy Cranston head flipper. This one, he does get a little bit stuck when you flip his head and he morphs. But I had the Red Ranger from this series originally back in the day, and it's cool to find the Blue Ranger from him too. It would be cool to get all 6 of these guys.
It's the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Rangers, teenage defenders of Earth. The Power Rangers are driven by the power of the ancient dinosaur.
Next up, I got this Michelangelo. This is the pro wrestling Michelangelo from the original 1990s Ninja Turtles figures. I actually already have this guy in my Ninja Turtles figures, but I found this guy. He came in the bag with those Power Rangers I just showed. I thought it was kind of cool to get a new Ninja Turtles figure anyways, even though I already got this guy. Eventually, when I dig up my Ninja Turtles figures from my parents' house, I'll probably put this guy for sale on eBay, see if I can get a couple bucks for him. But yeah, it was neat to find him either way.
And in wrestling, we find Shell slamming Mike pinned by his python. More Sewer Sports All-Stars coming up, but now a word from our sponsor. From Playmates, dude.
Next up was a cool figure, and it was a toy from a series I never had any toys from, but I loved the series as a kid. And that toy is Bucky O'Hare. Yes, Bucky O'Hare was a cool show when I was a kid. It's about a space rabbit who's green. He had a duck buddy with 4 arms as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this series was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it as a kid, and it was cool to find the figure because I never had any Bucky O'Hare toys as a kid. And there is a cool NES game I would love to pick up, but I think it's kind of expensive.
Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare! Mutants and aliens and toads beware!
The next up was a cool find, I think so. I paid $7 for him, and that is the Marvel Legends Incredible Hulk. Yes, this guy is pretty cool. He's got tons of articulation, lots of detail on this guy. Really, really high-end action figure, and I was really happy to get it for the $7. For some reason, he's got a hook on his back. I don't know why. Maybe you gotta hang him on something. I don't get it. Maybe for dioramas if you want to make him like flying through the air. I have no idea, but either way, it's a cool figure. Tons of articulation. Real high-quality figure. These, I believe, usually go for about $35 when you buy them new, so to find it for $7 was cool. And because it's the Hulk, I don't think he has any accessories with him. I'm just assuming, because what accessories would the Hulk have with him? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's pretty cool to find him.
Sears Flex Slacks make you look great, no matter who you are. They flex, they bend, the fit's incredible, and so's the price. Just $15.99. Incredible. This week, only at Sears.
Next up was a pretty happy find for me, and I was really happy to get these guys. And these are a couple of LJN 1988 rubber wrestlers. These were all the rage back in the day when I was a kid. I absolutely love these guys, and I got a Macho Man Randy Savage and the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart figures for $3 each, which is an awesome deal on these things. I found these at the thrift store. Super happy. Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart actually still has his megaphone, which is awesome. A lot of times it's broken off when you find him. So really, really cool to find these guys. You know, obviously they got some paint off them because people slam these things and when they were playing with them a lot, but really cool to find these. I remember when I was a kid, go to the flea market, they had pails and pails of these things, and now they're really hard to find. So it was cool to find them at the thrift store.
And now the WWF Superstar. Bring home all the action. From LJN.
And now for one of the coolest toys I picked up at the thrift store. And this one I was super excited when I found him. It is huge. It was awesome. And this is a 12-inch Optimus Prime from the movies. Yes, I found him at the thrift store. I paid $5 for this figure. Looking him up online, it looks like it's hard to see because you don't see any really loose ones. I see the box ones go for about $170 usually online. But this is an awesome Optimus Prime. He talks. It's got Peter Cullen's voice there, doing the voice of Optimus Prime. Fully posable, everything. You can put him on awesome positions, fully transformable. The only thing is missing, I think, is accessories. He came with a couple miniguns, but when you transform him, it doesn't play into the truck form at all, so it doesn't really affect that he's missing. And he's got the cool sword arms, which are fully retractable, and they can shoot up. Yeah, really cool toy. I'm really happy to find this guy because I love Transformers.
I am Optimus Prime. We have brought our war to your world, and the Decepticons have grown more powerful. But your sworn Autobot protectors stand ready for the fight. Even as our nemesis Megatron returns from the shadows, it is time to stand with us and prove there is more to you than meets the eye.
And now for the coolest toy out of all the toys I found for this week in thrifting. And that is this gigantic blue... You're my boy, Blue! Raptor from the new Jurassic Park movies. I was super happy to find this. He stands about 2 feet tall. Really, really cool. The kids have been loving this thing. I've been using it as more of like an elf on a shelf situation, you know, placing him around the house in various funny positions. And the kids stumbling upon him and finding him. They've been absolutely loving this guy, having a lot of fun with this. But the other other thing that's kind of cool, he's fully articulate. So his mouth and jaw open fully and close, like top and bottom of the jaw. His arms fully move, his wrists twist, his legs moves, his ankles move. And the other thing is too, he's completely hollow. So if you jam stuff in his mouth, there's a little compartment on the bottom here. You can pop it open and get it out, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I love this Raptor. I got super excited when I found it. I absolutely love these giant novelty things. They're just so cool to me. And so I figured I had to pick this up.
Stand down. Hey! What did I just say?
Okay, that's it for toys, and next up, let's get into VHS. Starting off, we're going to start with a cool cartoon I enjoyed as a kid. It was another Ninja Turtles ripoff, and that is a Biker Mice from Mars, Le Grand Moto. Yes, unfortunately, this is a French VHS. Somebody donated all the French VHSs, but I've never seen a Biker Mice from Mars VHS before at the thrift store, so I thought it was cool. I grabbed it anyways. Biker Mice from Mars, if you don't know, it was a ripoff of Ninja Turtles. It was about anthropomorphic mice who rode motorcycles. I don't know. I enjoyed it as a kid, and it was cool to find it on VHS. Next up, I got 3 X-Men the Animated Series VHSs, and what I love about these VHSs, they're all numbered. The first one I got was number 3, Deadly Reunion. The second one I got was number 6, Slave Island. The next one I got was number 10, Days of Future Past Part 1. What I love about these X-Men VHSs is that they are all numbered, and they all have comic book style artwork on the front and on the back. Everything is done comic book style. Absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. I absolutely love the X-Men animated cartoon. I love the Spider-Man as well. And there was that awesome series where they did a crossover between the 2 cartoons. I believe that aired as the Spider-Man one. And it was really cool to find these.
I was minding my own business when that filthy mutant bumped into me. "Excuse me," he says. I excused him, right in his face.
Next up, speaking of that crossover episode, this is Spider-Man the Animated Series, The Mutant Agenda. This VHS is actually the series I was just talking about of the X-Men Spider-Man crossover for those 2 cartoons. The Spider-Man cartoon is one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. Absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, this show never got a full series DVD release. It just got a few episode releases. They released it in the form of like movies, which I hate it when they do that. I would just release it as seasons or release it as a complete set. Never got a complete set release. I know there's a few people doing bootlegs on Etsy of the complete series. I'm kind of tempted to pick one of them up because I have all these DVDs of this series, but none of them are the full series. So it would be cool to get something like that.
Well, what do you know? Put out fly paper, catch a spider, make one wrong move, please, and you're shish kebab.
Next up, I got a Power Rangers VHS, and that is Power Rangers: A Lost Galaxy, The Power of Teamwork Overcomes All. Now, I've never watched Power Rangers: Lost Galaxy yet. I'm excited to try it. I have most of the seasons on DVD. I think I'm missing like 3 or 4 of the 25-something seasons released on DVD, so I almost have the whole set. I would like to go through them all. I've only gone through up to halfway through Turbo, which is... so it goes Mighty Morphin, then it goes Zeo, and then it goes Turbo. I'm about halfway through Turbo. Halfway through Turbo, they switch teams. They get a full new team, so they drop off all the original characters and they bring in the new team. I haven't gotten that far yet for when they do that, but yeah, it was cool to find this. I love finding the Power Rangers VHS. The next VHS I got was a huge favorite as a kid, and that is The Mighty Ducks, starring Emilio Estevez. This movie is about Emilio Estevez as a coach putting together a ragtag team of kids to win the hockey tournament. I had a lot of fun watching this as a kid, and it had an awesome spin-off cartoon, which I also loved.
He's a hotshot attorney who's never lost. Yes! Forced to coach a hockey team that's never won.
Keep swinging, maybe he'll give him a cold.
He'll try to teach them how to win.
You think losing is funny? Well, not at first, but once you get the hang of it.
And they'll teach him.
Get off the roof, you little monkey!
That winning isn't everything.
Next up on VHS is one of the greatest action horror movies ever made. I absolutely love this movie. It is a sequel, and that is Aliens. Yes, Aliens. I absolutely loved it. A decent departure from the first one. The first one was done more of a horror movie. This one was more of a action horror movie, so it was a lot more fast-paced. This one, obviously the threat has been multiplied as opposed to the first one from one alien, and this one hundreds of aliens. Absolutely love this movie, especially that ending scene when you first see the alien queen. I remember seeing that as a kid being, whoa, this is absolutely terrifying. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
Okay, moving on to DVDs and Blu-ray. The first one is The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Collection. This contains 4 episodes of The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. As a kid, this is always something really looking forward to. Every year was The Simpsons Halloween episode. I always loved the Treehouse of Horror episodes. Huge departure from the regular show, and they were always very interesting. It gave the writers of The Simpsons a little bit more play to do something a little bit more creative. I absolutely loved this as a kid. Next up on Blu-ray, I have the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider 2-pack. I've never seen these movies, but I do love Tomb Raider as a franchise. I gotta give these a watch when I get a chance. I hear they're pretty good, and I hear that they're better than the newer movie they made. The newer movie they made was just below mediocre, I would say, but these are supposed to be pretty good, so I want to check them out and see if they're any good. Moving on, I got a couple plug-and-play systems. I don't usually collect these, but these ones are kind of cool. So starting off, we got the SpongeBob SquarePants plug-and-play and the Fantastic Four plug-and-play. I don't usually collect these things, but these ones were kind of neat. It was neat to find them. Jack Specific did a whole series of these. The main appeal, because the games on them aren't very good, the main appeal with these are really the designs of them. They look pretty cool. I haven't tested these out yet to see if they're working. I got to open them up, so I probably got to clean battery acid out of them. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, it was cool to find them. They were pretty cheap, so and they look pretty nice on the shelf, so it was cool to get them.
Why couldn't the 11-year-old get into the pirate movie? Why? It was rated R.
All right, next up, moving on to video games, more mainstream video games. And the first thing I want to start off is with this cool Mortal Kombat controller for the PlayStation 2. This thing is mint. It's like it's never been used. Absolutely beautiful. Sticks are awesome. It's got a picture of Scorpion killing somebody else on the cover. I think it's Noob Saibot on the cover here. Really, really cool. High quality controller. Very comfortable controller. Third-party controller. Officially licensed Midway controller. Does have that listed on there. Really, really nice. Next up, moving on to games, I got Lego Marvel Superheroes on the Wii U. So this game I actually have in the Xbox One. It's a pretty cool game. You can select all of the Marvel characters and you can fly around in a free roaming environment, depending who you're using. If you're Iron Man, you can fly. Hulk, you can jump. I really enjoyed playing this on the Xbox One, and it was cool to pick it up on the Wii U. Next up, I picked up Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest on the PlayStation 3. This game is also on the Wii, and it is designed to use the motion controls to sword fight. It is a third-person action combat game, so I don't know. Looks like it's fun. I haven't tried it yet. The graphics are but it was originally designed for the Wii, so it's kind of like whatever. Next up, I got Marvel Superhero Squad on the Wii. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. It's cartoony style, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Join the new Marvel Superhero Squad and battle Doom's Lethal Legion in an epic superhero squad adventure.
Next up on the Wii, I got Transformers the Game. This is the movie tie-in game for the first movie. I have no idea if this is any good. I know the War for Cybertron game everybody really likes, but I do not know if this one's any good. The graphics look decent on the back for a Wii game, so might be worth trying out. Next up, I got Namco Museum Megamix 24 games. This is a collection of 24 essentially Namco arcade games like Pac-Man, Galaga, stuff like that. So it was really cool to find this. I enjoy the Pac-Man games. The reason I bought this is because there's one Pac-Man arcade game. I'm not sure if it's on here, but it's like a 4-player elimination game. I hope it's on here because this thing says it's 4-player. I was excited to get it just to see if that game was on here. Next up on the Xbox, I got Halo Combat Evolved. Well, you might be saying, well, you're a collector. How do you not have Halo yet? I did have Halo, but it was a loose copy. So I finally found a very clean, complete in-box copy, and it was nice to add this to the collection. Halo, if you don't know, is one of the first-person shooter games that revolutionized first-person shooting in games. I believe it's the first game to use the twin stick thing that has become standard in all first-person games. So yeah, this game was a big deal when it came out, and it's still a great game now. Next up on the PlayStation 2, I got Showdown Legends of Wrestling. If you don't know what Legends of Wrestling are, it's a wrestling game not made by WWF. It's its own thing, and they went and individually licensed all the wrestlers, and they essentially took all the greatest wrestlers from the 80s and the 90s, popped them in this game. This is the third one in the series. I hear this one is quite glitchy and unfinished, but the first two are a great time. I really enjoyed the first one especially. The second one, they put a lot more characters in it, which which is awesome. This one I'm sure has even more, but like I said, I heard this one's kind of broken. Next up is GoldenEye Rogue Agent on the GameCube. Now, I found this one at the thrift store. It is a 2-disc game. The second disc was missing, and it's in its spot in the case was an extra copy of True Crime Streets of LA, which is one of my favorite games on the GameCube. It's like Grand Theft Auto for the Nintendo. And now this GoldenEye Rogue Agent, what this game is, it is EA trying to cash in on the GoldenEye name. Essentially, in this one, you play as the James Bond villains as opposed to James Bond. I hear it's bad. I haven't tried it yet. I think I got it on a couple other systems like the DS or whatever, but I don't know. It was worth picking up because it was a GameCube game, and anything GameCube at this point, if I find them in thrift stores, I pick them up. Next up, I got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory on the GameCube. It's another 2-disc game. I hear this game is one of the better Splinter Cell games. I've never played it, but I hear great things. Next up is an awesome game, and the last game on this week in thrifting, this episode, and that is Time Splitters Future Perfect. This is a super expensive game, so it was really good that I found it there dirt cheap. This game is the third Time Splitters game. Time Splitters, if you don't know, is the series which came after GoldenEye Perfect Dark. The original developers from those games moved on, started their own studio, and created the Time Splitter series. So this is the third one, and it's the most valuable one in the series. Super excited to find this. I actually already had this as a kid, so I will be giving my extra copy to my brother who does not have this game.
Get down.
Well, everybody, that's it for this week in Thrifting episode 4. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you dislike what you saw, hit dislike. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you found in thrift stores, and we'll see you later.
Le Grand Moto.